Hello, welcome to our second video in a series for Ms. Dahlgren students with our Introduction to Research Databases, EasyBib, and Search Mapping. Let's pick up where we left off from video 1. In our last video, we showed you how to set up a project in EasyBib. We showed you how to access the research databases for this project with the special group that we've created with Mac and VIA, which you can access from the research guide by logging into that screenshot on the database page. And now we're going to give you a tour of the different databases, and we're going to focus today just on the EBSCO databases and then the Gale databases. This video will give you a tour of the EBSCO databases. So let's review. On our list, we have Academic Search Complete, Advanced Placement, Source, Environment Complete, Image Collection, Explore Secondary, and then we also have an advanced search that will search all of the EBSCO databases and Galileo. The great thing about the EBSCO databases is that the search interface is nearly identical in all of those databases. So we want to show you just a few key features of those. So let's start with Academic Search Complete. Once you click on any of those links from the group in Mac and VIA, and again, we're focusing on the EBSCO published databases, you can begin your search from the home page. You do have the ability to apply search filters from here, but sometimes I like to see what my search results look like and then apply the search filters. So perhaps I'm interested in HIV and adolescents or HIV in children. You'll notice that as you begin typing in your search term or phrase or your Boolean search combining keywords, EBSCO will suggest possible topics or possible search terms. You can go with one of these, or you can continue with what you have in mind. Perhaps if I'm interested in HIV in teenagers, I could also use the synonym adolescents and maybe try both. Then I can roll with that. So you'll go ahead and execute your search, and it shows me I have almost 1,700 results, so I want to narrow that down a little bit. There are different search filters that you can use on the left side of your screen. I highly recommend that you begin limiting your results to full text. This will give you articles that you have access to. If you want something that is truly research-based, you can filter by peer-reviewed journals. These have a much more rigorous process of being published to make sure that there's integrity to the research design and data. However, for this particular project, a peer-reviewed article is not necessary, though you certainly might want to try that filter. The second filter that's going to be especially useful for this assignment will be by publication date. So you may want to try to pull something a little more recent, maybe in the last 5 to 10 years. And you can, again, continue experimenting with that date. So that's taken down the results a little bit more for me. And then we also have the ability to filter by source types. So do we want an academic journal, which is going to be a more scholarly periodical? Do we want a magazine? Do we want a newspaper? Those are going to be the primary source types that we might use. If book is an option, then you might also want to search by books. For this particular search, there is not anything available, and I do not need a book review, so I will just leave it as it is. I'm going to filter right now by magazines and just see where that takes me. And as you can see, that reduced that pretty significantly. And you can begin browsing those results so you can see what might be available. And there are 10 results per page. If you don't see anything on the first page, then you could continue searching. And when you see something that's of interest to you, you can click on that link. And on that page, you will see publication information. You'll often see subject terms. So just like when you look up a book and you see subjects assigned to a book in Destiny or Card Catalog, subjects can be assigned to articles or resources within the databases. These will give you either an idea for search terms that you might want to fold into a new search, or you could actually initiate an entirely new search from here. I find that a lot of times the subject search terms give me ideas for new keywords that I might want to fold into a search. If geographic terms apply, Europe, so this gives us that global perspective, then that's helpful to look at for this particular assignment. We then have what's called the abstract. This is not the article. You cannot use only the abstract for this assignment. The abstract is just basically a snapshot or a brief summary of the article, and it's designed to help you decide if you want to bother to read the actual full text article. To access the full text article, you need to look on the left side of the screen, and you'll usually have an option of a PDF file. You might also see HTML full text. The HTML full text is plain text. If it's available as a PDF like this one, then it will be scanned in from the original source. Whichever option you choose, it will open in the middle of the page, which is great. If you are on any of our desktop computers, you can get a printer-friendly version of that article, or you can just simply skim and scan as you work on your search mapping technique, which we'll be learning about in another video very shortly. We also have our toolbar on the right, so we can print or email that article. If you want to get the true link to any EBSCO database, you look for the paperclip, and when you mouse over it, it says permalink, excuse me. So the paperclip equals permalink, and then this is the true URL back to that article. And I would recommend putting it in a Google document or an email. This way you have access to the exact same article. You'll just need to make sure you log into Mac and Via first before you try to open it, because this is behind a paywall. This is why we need the permalink, and why this URL really will not get us back there at a later date. If you want to cite this article and add it to your EasyBib list, just make sure that your EasyBib bibliography is open, and then right above the paperclip is a little tool that looks like a piece of paper and an arrow, and you're going to click on the export button, and then you're going to do a direct export to EasyBib. So I'm going to save that, and then I'm going to import it, and this is now in APA format. Okay. Most of the EBSCO resources will import cleanly with the correct capitalization. However, you can always go to the capitalization rules for APA, and if you see that you need to do any cleanup with capitalization, then you can always edit that entry and make any corrections that you might be directed to do by your teacher. Otherwise, it's added, and this is in your list now and will not be going anywhere unless you click more and manually delete it. All right? So that's how easy it is to add any resource from an EBSCO database into EasyBib. That export tool, again, you go to Export Manager, direct export to EasyBib, and then you just hit save. Don't make any changes. It is awesome. Once you have finished working with the article, you can go back to your result list and you could continue scrolling, or you could begin a brand new search. That is an awesome set of databases, all of the ones that we have from EBSCO through Galileo. One other search filter that could possibly be helpful is hiding down here. If you go to subject and there's a thesaurus for your terminology, this will give you additional searches or terms that you can either follow by clicking on that filter, and it can narrow down the results for you for all things that are related to those thesaurus terms, or you could also use those to fold into a brand new search or possibly in another database. So lots of great tools to help us focus our search results to get to what we need using the EBSCO databases. In our next video, we'll show you how to use the Gale databases and how to export those into EasyBib.